Amanda, you had something prepared that you wanted to say?
About episode 7, yeah, it's basically like International Assassin 2, which is basically them going, hey, dum-dums at the TV Academy, here's your chance to make up for what you didn't do last year. Nominate us for writing, nominate us for directing, and oh my God, she's back. Ann Dowd makes her grand reappearance in this episode, and thank God she was bad, because it would not have been a season of The Leftovers without her and Patty.
Yeah, I emailed HBO, and they are submitting her in guest actress. They said not to reveal that until the episode had aired. And Regina King is not submitted, so there's no vote splitting. And Dowd kind of looks like Margot Martindale, so maybe if the Emmy voters don't put on their glasses and they're just kind of scrolling, they're like, that looks like her, and then they just click on it because she's not going to be in guest this year. She'll be in supporting for the Americans. So yeah, I actually do think that a nomination is on the way for The Leftovers, in at least the guest actress category, just because she fits the bill of, well, many things. Like, for one, she's a former regular character in the guest category, and they love, checking off the regulars in the guest category. And she's also on a show that the Emmy voters feel bad for not watching, kind of like The Americans again, Margaret Martindale. And yeah, I don't know. She's had a long career, and people can see her in The Handmaid's Tale, so there's goodwill over there. And yeah, The Leftovers is just gonna rule the Emmys. Is what I'm trying to get across here.
I like it. I agree. I have 6 words just to follow up from what you both said, and it is Ann Dowd, Ann Dowd, Ann Dowd, because she is back, people, and that was such a tightly held secret for HBO. They were so nervous about it getting out. Good job to all the reporters and journalists and bloggers and whatever who didn't say anything, because when you finally realize this is happening, and she does not disappoint. She's wonderful, and I agree with you, Riley. I think she has a really good shot here. And isn't she in supporting for Handmaid's Tale?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure she is. So yeah, like, this is it. They have to nominate her. If Leftovers gets nothing else, please nominate Ann Dowd.
Yeah, and music supervision, because this episode,
Okay, yeah, no.
I mean, this is like the perfect episode to make the case for that. I mean, God only knows over that sequence.
Now, what about, do you guys actually think that Ann Dowd is like deserving of Emmy recognition for this episode, or is it just like, she should have been nominated before, and now you guys feel like she should? Because I mean,
That's a good
like
question.
she was all right, but I mean, like, we just had that episode of The Americans, which I wrote a piece about, where we've got this guest actress, pleading for her life. Like, that's like a really meaty role, whereas I feel like Ann Dowd here is kind of just like, hey guys, I'm back.
No, it was so subtle, and
no,
the way she's like, you brought me out of retirement to get me here, and I'm here for you, and that just holding his hand at the end of the episode.
Yeah, like she does that whole tough as nails thing like no other. Probably maybe Margot Martindale is her best competition for that kind of performance. When she says Kevin, and it's like she's just ready to pounce on him, I love that. She was so powerful in that bunker. I just loved her. She was fantastic. Even if her name was Anne Smith and she was a completely new actress, I'd be saying, geez, that Anne Smith was good. So yeah, totally.
When they asked who the Secretary of Defense was, and I'm like, it's Patty. It's like, it's gonna be Patty. I just knew it. Then I'm like, oh my God.
It was strange that HBO doesn't do what some other networks do, whereas like when they have a surprise guest star, they hold their name for the end of the episode. So I mean, like this episode, when the credits rolled up, and then Ann Dowd, I was like, oh, all right. And then there's Liv Tyler. I was like, well, I guess now I know who we're going to be seeing this week. I did like in the credits how they brought back the opening main title music from the first season. David Lindelof talks a lot about how he thinks that like those main titles were not well received, and he wanted to change them for the second season, which I always feel bad about because I really like those.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did too, and I just we've been talking about Ann Dowd. We really should just give credit to Justin Theroux, who and his dual role.
He plays the most powerful man in the world and his identical twin brother. because we should mention the title before we're talking.
The title. Yeah. Don't you? I mean, it's the same team, right? That brought that brought us International Assassin, Craig Zobel, Nick Hughes, and Damon Lindelof. So it is the sequel, obviously, so that makes sense. But I was thinking about this when I was watching it. I was thinking, given that International Assassin was such an amazing episode that we all carry on about constantly, how wonderful it was, this had a lot to live up to. And I was wondering, I'm not going to love this as much. It's going to be a letdown because that's just what would happen. But it wasn't. It really wasn't. By the end of it, I was like, wow, I was really into that. It didn't have the stuff at the end of International Assassin where you've got the well. That's the stuff that really hits you emotionally. This probably doesn't go there as much, but the whole other world stuff where, you know, he's in this weird bunker, it worked. Totally worked.
Well, I think that scene with Scott Glenn, who plays his father, who has to drown him, he's like, if I could do this, I would do it. I love you. I don't want to do this. We kind of need to. I think that kind of just maybe with the placement, it wasn't at the end. There was a lot in the middle as far as that was concerned. And telling those people that he had delivered their messages, it still had the impact. It didn't have the dramatic turn of shoving a kid into a well. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, this season I would say is not making me cry like the last season did. There's
Really?
Maybe I've become a man since then.
Oh my god. I don't have that problem with this one.
Men can
I thought it was
cry.
nice to see Liv Tyler again.
Mm.
Did you like the hair?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you never see it up. It's usually just stringing it down. So, you know, why not?
Kind of Star Wars.
Mm.
It's too bad, I think, that HBO is not kind of gaming the system a bit more in terms of their submissions. Because last year they could have submitted both Ann Dowd and Liv Tyler in guest, but then they opted to submit them in supporting, even though they're only in 3 and 4 episodes of the 10-episode season. So maybe they would have had a nomination by now already if HBO had just been playing like Netflix, you know, actually abiding by the new rules.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but yeah, I mean, I don't know why Liv Tyler's in supporting, but unless she's going to appear in the series finale, but I do really, really hope that Ann Dowd ends this year with an Emmy nomination. I don't care. You can pick which show you want. I would just like to see her end this with an Emmy nomination.
Yeah.
And do you think this is Justin Theroux's best performance of the series? You know, our lead actor?
I think if he was submitted without seeing the series finale, this would be a great episode to submit.
Yeah. I think he was very, 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 very good. I don't know if it was his best, because I think in International Assassin, we keep repeating ourselves, but that was pretty amazing. Like, I can't imagine anything better than that for him. But he was pretty bloody good in this. Like, when he has to, you know, like when he's lying on the floor covered in blood, was that the twin brother or I can't remember now. I think it was the
that was the twin brother.
Yeah. And he's playing against himself, one with a beard, one without. Like, this is impressive. As an acting showcase, it would certainly be a very impressive one for him. But
yeah, if he if he can get in, again, we don't know what's in store next week. This could be his best submission, because we do know they do like people who play 2 roles. So we just saw Tatiana Maslany win. So it's probably going to be the most buzzed about episode of the.
Yeah.
And what do we think is going to happen next week in the finale? Do you guys have any predictions, or just, why even bother trying to guess?
You talked to Carrie Coon, so what did she say? She didn't give us much.
She gave me nothing. I asked her, give me the 3 words. That was a great question that you suggested, Amanda. And she was like, Nora caught off guard. So I was like, that's giving me nothing. But what would that mean? She's caught off guard. Does that mean that the elaborate con is not a con? Does it mean that something happens with Kevin? Like, we know we've seen her as the older lady on the bike. I'm still trying to work out what the hell that is. I am at a loss. Do you guys have any ideas?
Well, I think Nora's going to, survive.
Well, yeah, clearly Nora survives, but it's how many people are going to survive? Is there going to be a flood?
Yeah, I think the flood's over. I think crisis averted. I don't know if what Kevin did was relevant, but like he got out at the end. They're all just kind of hanging out.
I was surprised because we don't know if Amy Brenneman was dead. I was expecting her, if she was dead, to pop up in the hotel. So that kind of leaves that one a little open still. Because if she was dead, why wouldn't she be one of the people at the hotel?
Maybe the flood's a little late, and then she'll wash ashore.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she said to me, and she said online, and she said this is not a spoiler, and it was only due to scheduling. But her last scene was by herself, where everyone else had already gone home, and it was just her, Damon, Mimi, and the Australian crew. And for her, that was a great ritualistic way to end the series because she was on her own and she could just say goodbye to it within herself. I'm just wondering in what circumstances would Nora be on her own? I guess it could be anything. She could just be in the bathroom. But I'm just thinking, I wonder if that is a slight spoiler, and maybe she is what one of the last people standing. I don't know. I'm hoping it's something really amazing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what Margaret Qualley's involvement is too, because I saw that she went, she was filming in September, but I think they started shooting in May. So I'm wondering, did they go back to the States to film parts of the premiere that she was in, or is she going to pop up in the finale? I'm just very confused about why she was filming in the middle of the season when she appeared only at the beginning.
Yeah, who knows?
We're going to find out, I guess.
I can't wait. We should be getting that link very soon.
We're brats. We get to watch this early, but that means we also have to be quiet. So we were sitting on this big secret for a very long time.
Can't wait.
Oh my God. It's going to explode when people realize what they're in store for, because it was so great to see her. If she only appears in this one episode, it would not have been the same to finish off the series without her.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, I guess I'll just ask, what do you guys think about Bill Kemp? He is showing up now. He was in the Mad episode. He's back. He's referencing that he is God when he's talking to Kevin. Are we supposed to think anything more about that? Why is he appearing in both the real world alive at the same time that he's appearing to Kevin in the hotel world? Because normally you're kind of in one or the other.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because before we got onto this, I was just surfing on YouTube, and there's a YouTube video about this, about all the different mentions about him and about his character throughout the series. I'm going to watch that because, there's got to be something to that, surely. That's really clever. But I have no idea. As usual, I have no freaking clue.